Today is June 12th, 2021. My name is Trey Spears. I am currently enrolled in History 1113 with Professor Simon at Baton Rouge Community College. This interview is being conducted from the home of Jonathan Vaughn, my grandfather, who was born on February 4th, 1926. His address is 259 Donovan Court. Which war did you serve in?
World War II.
Were you drafted or did you enlist into World War II?
I was drafted.
Where were you living at the time you were drafted?
Badwoods, Louisiana.
Were you allowed to pick the service branch you joined?
No, they selected it for me.
What branch did they pick for you?
United States Navy.
Do you recall your first days in the service?
Yes, I do.
What were they like?
Well, I was sort of lonesome and afraid at the same time, being 18 years old, and had to leave home for the first time, go out of the state. So I was sort of nervous and what have you, not knowing what would take place. Yeah.
Where exactly did you go in the service?
I was first remoted to New Orleans, where we were given tests and what have you, various examinations and things of that sort, and that would determine where we would go and what we would do. So New Orleans was the first place we left to go. And then, of course, we left there and went to Pasco, Washington. And that's where I was stationed for some time.
Do you remember arriving, and what was it like?
Oh, yes, indeed. I was 18 years old, as I said, and weighing about 135 pounds. It was very difficult for me to even carry my mattress, because during those days, each sailor had to carry his own mattress to the barracks. And it was very difficult for me to carry that. I remember that very clearly there, but I made it the first day.
What was your job or assignment?
When I got there, it was difficult for them to find a job for me, but after a while, they assigned me as assistant manager for the 50-lane bowling alley. And so that's where I worked, in bowling alley, theaters, in the theater, and what have you.
Did you ever see combat?
No, I didn't.
Tell me about your most memorable experiences in the service.
Well, President Truman came to visit our base, and in the barracks, he came to sit near me as we ate one day. And of course, I enjoyed talking to him. That was Harry Truman, our president at that time. And of course, I also enjoyed traveling with the band, the jazz band of the Navy, where I served as sort of an announcer there. So I got a big thrill out of that.
Were you a prisoner of war?
No, I wasn't.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
I have a good conduct medal, and I have the good conduct medal is one of the medals there, and of course I have a Freedom Award medal.
What was the food like?
The food was delicious. They had great cooks and what have you, and 3 meals a day, and they provided that. It was very good.
Did you feel pressure or stress while serving?
Well, every day was a new day, and of course you did not know whether you were going to be sent overseas or not, or whatever. So each day you prayed that it would be a good day, whether you were in combat or whether you stayed in stateside. But I made the best of it for 2 years, 2 months, and 18 days.
How did people entertain themselves?
Well, they had movies and basketball games in the gym and things of that sort. Good movies coming all the time. Of course, bands came to play, and and what have you. USO people would come out to entertain us from time to time on the base.
Mm-hmm. Where did you travel while in the service?
Well, I was in the state of Washington. That's Pasco, Washington. I went from there to back to New Orleans to be discharged. So I did not do a lot of traveling and everything. They kept me on the same base during my whole time in the Navy.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of your officers or fellow soldiers?
They were very intelligent and very well trained. We had a good combat. I was in a drill team, so we drilled doing parades and what have you in the city and things of that sort. The officers were well trained, as I said, and very capable of doing the work needed to be done during that time.
Do you recall the day your service ended?
Oh yes, indeed. In 1946, I was discharged from the Navy, came back to Baton Rouge, and I was glad to be back home.
What was your highest rank achieved?
I was Specialty First Class in the Navy. Specialty First Class.
Did you go to work or go back to school after service?
I went straight to college and finished college. In 1949, I finished college and served. I went in public school teacher, as a public school teacher,
mm-hmm.
and later on as a high school principal. I retired as a supervisor for the West Baton Rouge Parish School Board after 35 years of service.
Yes. Thanks so much for allowing me to interview as part of my project, and of course, thank you for your service to our great nation. The questions used today are adaptation questions developed by the Veterans History Project team in consultation with the American Folk Life Center and the Oral History Association.